Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and this is going to be the Holy Priest. Holy crap. That's about all I can say. This thing's bitching right now, guys, and we're going to get into it going straight in to the abilities. So here we are, guys. We're going to look at the Priest abilities. The first two are actually talents, and we'll get into those a little bit later. You still have Dispel Magic. Dispel Magic is basically going to act like Purge, but in a Priest benefit. Then you've also got Divine Hymn, which is your cooldown. It still does a very, very good amount of healing. Heals all party or raid members within 40 yards for 70,000 over 7.1 seconds, and increasing healing done to them by 10% for 8 seconds. Healing increased by 100% when not in a raid. So basically, if you're not in a raid, this thing is going to be improved. It's going to do a hell of a lot more healing than what you would normally end up seeing in a 5-man group. So just remember that one, guys. It's going to be pretty awesome. And then you've also you've got that extra 10% on there for a 3-minute cooldown. This thing is solid. Fade works the same as on live, guys. Basically, if you get threat, you can dump it real quick by hitting fade. It's going to remove all threat that you have generated. Flash heal. This is going to be your fast, expensive heal. It's a little more inefficient, but still, don't be scared to use this thing if you see your tank dumping, guys. This is going to be the way to end up controlling those clutch moments to where you got to pop them back up. Guardian Spirit. It's now a 4-minute cooldown, and it works basically the same way. Calls upon a Guardian Spirit to watch over the friendly target for 10 seconds, increasing healing received by 60% and preventing the target from dying by sacrificing itself. The sacrifice terminates the effect and heals the target for 40% of maximum health, castable while stunned. Massive damage amounts will kill the target despite this effect. So they've kind of put a little bit of a spin on this thing, guys. And what it's going to be is, okay, yes, this thing will end up saving if it's just a tick situation. But if it's a huge hit, like a tank fucks up a mechanic, or somebody stands in something that they shouldn't have, that just absolutely annihilates them, this isn't gonna fucking work. So just remember that, and the main reason you want to use this is to try and get that person healed back up and not rely on it for the death mechanic. Heal. This is going to be your efficient heal, and this is it's going to heal for the same amount as Flash Heal, except as you can see, 14,000 or 8,500. This is going to be the better way to go. Holy Fire, this is a damaging ability, guys. Basically, for the Priest, this is the weaker spec for doing any kind of damage whatsoever, but they still do alright. So if you wanted the quest with him or do a little bit of extra damage to a raid boss in a low period, you can still do it, and Holy Fire is one of those ways to do it, and it's going to do an initial holy damage and then add a dot. But you can now stack this dot up to 2 times. It does have a way of refreshing, and we'll go over that in a minute. Holy Nova. Hey, guess what, guys? Here's Holy Nova. Holy Nova. So it's just going to do damage to all enemies within X amount of yards. It's another AoE damage ability. Really, guys, nothing too special on it. And just so you can see, him has a little bit of an effect change. You can actually see they put in some music notes and added in all that extra healing, and you can see this to where we're getting the good tick coming up afterwards. What else? What other ability was there? Holy Nova, we threw that one out there. Guardian Spirit, we'll show you that one, and you've got some pretty nice looking wings that actually come off of that thing now. So just a few of the abilities to look at. So the next one's going to be Holy Word Chastise. Your Holy Words have been broke down, guys. If you watch my other video, you no longer have stances that you got to work in. No more chakras. Your Holy Words are actually broke down. There's no more chakras to deal with. It's just straight up, you're healing, and you've got certain abilities on certain cooldowns. So Holy Word Chastise is the damaging one, and it's going to incapacitate the target for 5 seconds after doing some holy damage. Really nice ability. It's on a 1-minute cooldown, and it is instant. the 1 minute cooldown, guys, don't worry about that. If you're damaging, we'll go over that in a second also. Holy Word Sanctify. This used to be the Sanctuary, guys, to where it dropped down the pool of crap that you heal in. That is no longer the case. It's not a stand-in situation. You have a much larger targeting reticle, and whenever you cast it, you're going to heal everyone in there for a huge amount. It says 87,000 with a chance to crit, and it'll do up to 6 targets. Absolutely insane AoE heal, and it is it can be reduced also. We'll go over that in a second too. Holy Word Serenity. This thing's amazing also. All these are considered what Blizzard has considered a miracle cure, or miracle heals. This one being the AoE one. This is a DPS crap. And then you've got Serenity. Perform a miracle healing an ally for 242,397. Now you can watch a healing bar over here because the effect's not that cool, but 242,000 on an instant cast, and there's a way of reducing this off of the 1 minute cooldown also. So let's go ahead and take a look. Leap of Faith still exists, guys. You can still end up pulling people to you, or pull them right off the bridge, whatever you plan on doing with this thing, but it's still right there, and you can end up taking care of it any way you want to, but it works good. And what it's going to do is pull the spirit of the party or raid member, instantly moving them directly in front of you. Again, like I said, you can pull them right off the bridge if you really feel like it. Levitate, hey, this thing still works the same. You can still float around all nice and creepily. Nothing too big there. Levitate, let's see. Mass Dispel still here, guys. Mass Dispel works exactly the same. Dispels magic in a 15-yard radius, removing all harmful magic from 10 friendly targets and 1 beneficial magic from up to 10 enemy targets. Potent enough to remove magic that is normally undispellable. There's been a lot of different scenarios where this thing has been really, really nice. If you remember, in Mist of Pandaria, the second raid with all the bugs, that was it was pretty useful there on one of the fights, and it's always had a really good niche to it. So guys, remember, this is going to be a good piece in your toolkit, basically. Mass Resurrection does exactly what it says. It mass reses everybody. Mind Control, hey, it's going to do exactly what it says also. Controls a mind up to 1 level above yours for 30 seconds. Does not work versus mechanical beings. Shares diminishing returns with other disorienting effects, blah, blah, blah. It's just a CC group for you to MC. If you've ever played a priest before and you've used this thing, it does the exact same shit. Prayer Mending, your AoE heal. They changed this one also, guys, and it's no longer restricted to groups. A powerful prayer that heals up to 5 injured allies within 20 yards of the target for 24,000. It is no longer restricted to groups, so you can cast this thing and it's going to just heal people around that target. One of the best things they could have done with this spell in a long time, because I tell you what, having melee grouped up or this group grouped up, all of this crap really needed something to change. And they finally ended up changing it, which is good. Prayer Mending, hey, works exactly the same. You throw a soft ball of holy energy and it heals after they end up taking damage and continues to jump. It's a bread and butter spell for this spec, and it really gets into it whenever you start getting into the artifact ability, which we'll get into there later. Purify is your dispel, guys. No different than what's on live. Renew, this is your hot. This is going to be another very large bread and butter piece for you. Most of the time in any large damaging situation, this is going to be your filler spell, and it does a ton of healing for you, and it will normally be towards the top. Resurrection does what it says, brings somebody back from the dead. Shackle Undead is a CC that we still have that has not been used in a very long time in most PvE circumstances. In fact, I don't think I actually have used this on my Holy Priest since Karazhan in BC, just because there's never really been a situation for it. I think there was maybe a few pulls in Wrath of the Lich King ICC that I might have ended up using it, but other than that, I don't think it's been really useful since pulls right before Opera in Karazhan. So we're going to end up going on and Smite. Smite has basically you're going to be able to hit the target for 20 or, holy damage. But it's also got a 20% chance to reset the cooldown on Holy Fire. So if you're doing damage, this is going to be your filler spell. You're going to want to make sure Holy Fire's out, Chastise is on cooldown, and then you're going to smite them to death unless something else procs or comes up. If you're doing a damage situation, if you're questing, very simple, basic. Now let's get into the passives. Focused Will. Passive. Melee attacks against you cause you to gain Focused Will, reducing damage you take by 15% for 8 seconds, stacking up to 2 times. So basically you can have this thing 30% for 8 seconds if something is beating on you. Very nice. Your Mastery, exactly the same as what it has been. It's Echo of Light. Your direct healing spells heal for an additional 24% over 6 seconds. This thing is ungodly. With the new healing model, guys. It is a very awesome setup with the new healing model, especially since there's not the shielding's down, so this thing can actually do its work and not have to worry about it. Serendipity. This has had a huge rework, guys, and basically passive. When you cast Flash Heal or Heal, the remaining cooldown on Holy Word Serenity, which is your big miracle heal, is reduced by 6 seconds. So it's on a 1 minute cooldown normally. Every time you cast Flash Heal or Heal, your single target heals, it's going to reduce by 6 seconds. When you cast Prayer of Healing, the remaining cooldown on Holy Word Sanctify is reduced by 6 seconds. So if you're casting an AoE ability, your AoE miracle is going to reduce. And when you cast Smite, the remaining cooldown on your Holy Word Chastise is reduced by 6 seconds. So your damaging ability is going to reduce your damaging miracle, Holy Word, whatever you want to call it. So really simple to remember there, guys. Single target, single heal, AoE, AoE heal, DPS, DPS. So just keep that in mind. And then Spirit of Redemption. It's passive. Upon death, you become the Spirit of Redemption for 22.5 seconds. You cannot move, attack, be attacked, or be targeted by any spells or effects, and your healing spells cost no mana when you... This is the exact same thing as on live. If you die, you can keep healing for 22.5 seconds. Really cool, guys. So from there, we are actually going to go on to the talents. Alright, so here's the talents, guys. Level 15. You're looking at Trail of Light. Passive. When you cast Flash Heal, 40% of the healing is replicated to the previous target you healed with Flash Heal. Basically, you can end up going back and forth with Flash Heal, and it's going to do a little bit more extra healing to the previous target that you just healed with it. Interesting gameplay, but really it seems more PvP-ish, where you're shooting for that lower cast time and still keeping your healing as max as possible. So that's just my opinion on it. It could be good for a 5-man situation, but currently it's being beat out by one of the others. At least in my opinion. Enduring Renewal, passive. Your single target's healing spells refresh the duration of your renew on the target. So basically this is taking your old stance for your single target, taking that ability and putting it into talent, guys. So if you want to keep that thing, if you're doing more single target healing, this is going to be the way to go. But Enlightenment, it's passive. You regenerate mana 10% faster. Mana regeneration on a healer, thank you very much. This helps out a ton, guys, and I think it's going to be the better one for a progression healer that's working as Holy, just because anytime you can have additional mana at your fingertips is going to be the better way to go with it. And either way, these are going to save you mana. It's just a matter of how you want to play. Level 30, Angelic Feather. I'm so glad that Holy still has this thing. It's been pulled out of at least Shadow that I know of. I haven't checked out Discipline in a while, but it'll definitely be coming soon. But Angelic Feather. Places a feather at the target location and grants movement speed. Exactly the same as what it is on live, guys, and it is so beautiful. They gave you body and mind. You no longer have a shield as holy. So what's this going to do? It's going to heal the target for every 1 second, increase their movement speed by 40% for 4 seconds. So basically, it's going to act like you threw Renew on them, and they get to run, and it's got a 10-second cooldown. It looks like something fun to play with later on, guys. And then Desperate Prayer, exactly the same. 1.5 minute cooldown, heals you for 20% of your maximum health, and increases your maximum health by 20%, decreasing by 2% every second. Okay, so it has been a little bit different, guys, with that maximum health stuff. But I see this being, again, more of a PvP deal to kind of, live through a burst period from something that might be trying to eat your face. Nothing too important, though, at least on the PvE side, in my opinion. But it is a nice defensive cooldown. And then you've got 45, Shining Force. This is just an AoE, guys. It's going to create a burst of light around a friendly target, knocking away nearby enemies and slowing their movement speed. Basically, on the target, you're going to allow them to do like the Elemental Shaman's Thunderstorm, and knock away targets and slow them for a certain amount of time. It is on a 1 minute cooldown. Again, PvP, this is going to probably be awesome. PvE, dude, all you're going to do is piss off the tank. The tank's going to want to fucking murder you, because now he's got to realign all these things, and the way the mobs have been acting already in Legion, which it is a bug, but they are all over the damn place already. So we're going to move on to Censure. Passive, Holy Word, Chastise, stuns the target for 5 seconds and is not broken by damage. So this just makes sure that whenever you cast Chastise, instead of it being broke by damage and automatically, letting them run back out, this is going to make sure the stun sticks around. Pretty nice capabilities coming out of that one on, again, either PvP or, some PvE, like rare elites maybe. Questing, that'd probably be the best place to put it. And then you've got Afterlife. Passive, increase the duration of Spirit of Redemption by 50%. Just in case you end up getting hit by something, this will end up helping out. Level 60, Light of the Naru. Passive, Serendipity reduces the remaining cooldown on the appropriate Holy Word by an additional 2 seconds. So this is going to help out a ton, guys. And this is just as if you're constantly casting or doing something, especially with your single target abilities, you're going to have Serendipity up more often. You're going to have Sanctify up more often. It's just going to be a nice piece to end up adding in there. And then you've got Guardian Angel. When Guardian Spirit expires without saving the target from death, reduce its remaining cooldown by 90 seconds. This puts Guardian Angel on a 1 minute cooldown. I'm sorry, not 1 minute cooldown. Wow. That was 90 seconds, so it was originally a 4 minute, so 2.5 minute, yeah, minute and a half off. Math is hard. So yeah, it's going to be 2.5 minute cooldown instead of the normal 4 minute that it has. This can be a nice saving grace for tanks if you're looking at that route. And then you've got Symbol of Hope. This is interesting. They brought it back, but instead of it being a mana battery item to actually increase mana for people or regen mana, it's going to be instant, 6 minute cooldown. Bolster the morale of all healers in your party and raid within 40 yards, allowing them to cast spells for no mana for 10 seconds. This is going to act like the new Innervate, but on a raid-wide level, and it's really going to... It's a nice piece, it really is. But currently in the 5-mans, obviously this one's going to be better, as to where in raids, this is going to possibly be a game changer if you see a large healing area to where you can end up getting away with using this thing. Heavy damage where people are doing a lot of healing, pop this thing, and the next thing you know, bam, everybody's saving all that mana over that 10-second period. 75, Surge of Light, passive. Your healing spells and smite have an 8% chance to make your next flash heal instant and cost no mana, maximum 2 charges. Almost exactly the same as what's on live. Binding Heal. This one's a little different, guys. It's here, it's nice, but heals you, another friendly target, and a third friendly target within 20 yards for 30,299. It triggers Serendipity, causing the remaining cooldown on both Holy Word Serenity and Holy Word Sanctify by 3 seconds. And it's expensive. It's 15,000 mana per cast. Your normal flash heal is 14,000. It's not too bad, guys. This is an interesting little piece. Now, I've tested with this thing, and a lot of the times it seems like when you're using this, the healing is usually wasted. Like, it's a lot of mana. It's for all things considered, because prayer healing is going to do a lot. But if you've got a renew just ticking on them, unless you're PvP wise, this is probably going to be awesome. Honestly, PvP is probably going to be awesome with this. But as for PvE, renew usually took care of most of the damage that was going out, as long as people weren't being dumb. And that was all you really needed, was renew, and then possibly a regular heal to top up anybody that wasn't the tank. So this is just, I've got my pros and cons about this thing, and I'm not sure where it's going to lie until I actually get to test it in some raid content. Piety, passive. Prayer Mending now triggers Serendipity, reducing the remaining cooldown on Holy Word Sanctify. If you were... Alright, we're back. Had a little bit of a DC time there. The good part's about being in beta. And like I was saying before, Piety is going to be best for if you are the designated AoE healer. Basically, Prayer Mending, and you've got all these ticks going off. If you got a very high ticking fight, to where there's constant ticking damage, Prayer Mending's trigger now going to trigger Serendipity, reducing the remaining cooldown on Holy Word Sanctify, which is your miracle AoE heal. This is going to be pretty awesome depending on the fight. Level 90, Divinity. Passive, when you heal with a Holy Word spell, your healing is increased by 20% for 8 seconds. This is insane for timing, guys. Usually whenever you're using a Holy Word spell, you need that extra healing, and it feels very, very good in the process. So let's say you are using Holy Word Sanctify. Basically, after you do that, you can follow through with a Circle of Healing or another big AoE heal like Prayer Healing. That's the one that I'm looking for, and that's going to end up doing a ton of extra healing. So you still have Divine Star. It works exactly the same. It's going to basically, here, we'll take it, we'll toss it out at this guy. It's going to go forward, and then it's going to come back and do the exact same amount of healing. And yes, it can trigger Surge of Light. Pretty nice for an instant cast, as long as everyone's able to stack up. And then you've got Halo. Once this gets off cooldown, Halo works exactly the same as what it does, 40-second cooldown, and it's going to do healing, and it's got the damage aspect back into the game, so it will actually do damage. Be careful with this thing, because it used to pull like crazy whenever you would be healing, and you just wanted a little bit, and you'd break CCs, all kinds of crap. So now that that's back, I consider that dangerous. And then level 100, Apotheosis. Instant 3-minute cooldown. Enter a pure holy form for 30 seconds, increasing the effects of Serendipity by 200% and reducing the cost of your holy words by 100%. Basically, this is just going to be for burst healing. 3-minute cooldown, though, it really didn't seem that great. I mean, yes, it's going to allow you to do a large burst area for your AoE heals. I'm sorry, not just AoE, but your Holy Word heals. Serenity is going to be coming off cooldown quite a bit if you need it. Sanctify will. Depending on what you're using, it's going to work really, really well. And I think Apotheosis would probably line up a lot better with Binding Heal, because it's going to do both of them at the same time. So it's just something to think about, guys. And I mean, this would do 3 seconds normally, so it would do 6 seconds off each one. But it lasts 30 seconds. It looks pretty cool. You do have Benediction. Benediction's awesome also, and I see this being, if you've got a large ticking damage boss, where perm ending's bouncing around quite a bit. Your perm ending has a 30% chance to leave a renew on each target if it heals. Yes, please. I see this working really good, and this will also line up really good with one of the artifact abilities that we'll talk about in a few minutes. But I had to go with Circle of Healing. For a 5-man, this is absolutely insane. This has been a bread and butter piece for Priest for a long time, and for Holy Priest, and it really sucks that it's now a talent and not part of the actual mold anymore. So I did end up taking this one instead, as to where, you know, because 5 injured allies in a 5-man dungeon, this is going to heal everybody as long as they're within 30 yards. And not to mention your mastery is going to heal on top of that. So we've got all these different items here, guys. And again, these talents are working pretty good. You're going to have a different correspondence on which way you want to go, depending on your playstyle for one, and the other is basically what is the fight situated for. Are you going to need all that prayer mending, or are you going to need you know, more burst healing like what Circle of Healing would allow? Or, you know, there's going to be situations that are going to make all of these change. But currently, for a 5-man, this is what I have been running, is what you see right here. So, that being said, guys, we are going to move on to the artifact. Yeah, buddy. I really like this staff, guys. They really ended up getting the Naru look into this thing, and it's really working out. Excuse me. But this is your base model. It's your Beacon of the Naru, and then you've got your different skin colors. They look good. I think that purple one looks pretty awesome. The red one, and then your basic. I mean, the green kind of looks more like piss yellow to me. And then you've got Banner of Purity, which is your next upgrade up from this thing. And we'll let it spin around so you can see this, but it's got a couple shards that kind of float in and out of it. And it's really cool looking. I really enjoy this model quite a bit also. I just hate that it's almost 2D. When it turns sideways, you can't really see this thing that much. As you can see, it's sideways right now. Almost impossible to see. And then you've got the next one, which is Keeper of Light. This thing is sick. I really enjoy this, guys. It's got a real nice look to it. The gold one especially. I've got a lot of mogs that'll go with that on my Holy Priest. But I'm going to let it spin around so you can get a better look at it. But this thing looks really good. And I mean, I've got a lot of mogs that'll definitely go with this thing. It looks beautiful. That dark one right there. Yeah, buddy. And then you've got Embrace of the Void, your PvP ones, and we're definitely going to let this spin around because this thing is amazing looking. And I know a lot of people are probably going to end up disagreeing with me, but I enjoy this look a lot. I mean, there's nothing holding this thing together but pure fucking energy. And there we go. It looks good. So with that, guys, let's go ahead and move on to the traits. Alright, here, Beacon of the Naru. So you've got a Holy Artifact, you've got a Life Artifact, and then a locked Holy Artifact. If you've seen any of my other videos, this thing is unlocked going through the Priest Order Hall campaign. What does that mean? That means you've got to play Farmville to get your shit. I don't care for that too much, but it's a way for them to locking back, or not locking back, but time releasing content basically. So you've got to end up actually putting some time in to get these extra items, which is good. I enjoy that part of it. I just don't care for the board that much. It has had a lot of changes, but man, it really needs to it's getting better, guys. I will give it that. It is getting better, but it is still not. I think it's just salty to me because of how bad it is in WoD right now. So your first step out, they completely redid your artifact ability. That's why you didn't see me actually put one out there. They redid this thing. If you watch my first video on this, this used to be right here, your main ability, all right? And they went ahead and moved it somewhere else. Kind of odd. Only one that doesn't have an ability currently that I know of right off the bat. But what's this going to do? Invoke the Naru. This is a passive ability. When you use a Holy Word spell, you have a chance to summon an image of Tyr at your side for 15 seconds. Whenever you cast a spell, Tyr will cast a similar spell. So it's basically going to cause a mimic heal, but it's RNG. And I don't care for the RNGesus mechanic on it. 15 seconds, if everybody's topped up and you aren't doing anything anymore, this is wasted. And I don't know what the internal cooldown is. I haven't data mined for it yet. Or if there even is one, guys. It may just be a random proc. Follower of the Light is your first step out, though. And it's going to increase all healing done by 5%. Nothing cool there. I mean, it's nice healing, but nothing spectacular. Say your prayers. 0 of 3. Prayer Mending has a 10% chance to not consume a charge when it jumps to a new target. This is pretty cool. In that aspect that it will just never end up running out, and this will go 10, 20, and 30%, which that's good as long as it's being used. If not, this is useless. If it's a fairly low damage fight, this is not going to do anything. Trust in the Light. It's passive. Leap of Faith heals the target for 5% of maximum health over 6 seconds, so that's kind of cool. You can pull somebody out and give them a heal, and that's more than likely going to become 5, 10, or 15%. Focus in the Light, passive. While Focused Will is active, now mind you, that's when you take damage. Holy Fire and Holy Word Chastise reduce the target's movement speed by 30%, increase your movement speed by 30% for 3 seconds. It looks more like a PvP talent to me than anything, but again, this is or if you're questing, I mean, that might be good. But again, Focused Will is whenever you take physical damage, it ends up activating, guys. And then Serenity Now, 0 of 3. Increase the critical strike chance of Holy Word Serenity by 5%. That is awesome. 5, 10, or 15% increased chance to... right now, okay, my health is 287,000. This thing will heal... Currently, it is healing for... 242,000. So it's going to do basically half of my health in healing. And then if you can end up critting on top of that... basically, I can end up taking myself from almost dead and completely fill it up if it crits. Absolutely amazing healing. And then you got Light of Cure. It's rank 0 of 1. And again, this used to be your ability that you had, and now you still have it, but it's in a different location. 45-second cooldown, or 45-second recharge. It's got 2 charges, and basically it's going to apply the Light of the Naru to the target. Heals for a good amount, but then it increases all healing you do to that target by an additional 25% for 10 seconds. This thing is cool, it was great, but I can see why they moved it, because being right here, it was overpowered and it probably would have had a hard way of tuning, so they had to move it. Unfortunately, that is the active ability, so it kind of dulls out, but you still have plenty to do. Power of the Naru. Rank 0 of 3. Casting Holy Word Sanctify increases healing done by Prayer of Healing by 5% for 15 seconds. 0 of 3. So this is probably going to be 5, 10, or 15%. This is awesome, guys. This is going to give you a great amount of burst AoE healing. Holy Guidance, increasing healing done by increase healing done by Prayer Healing by 5, 10, or 15%. That's awesome. And then our next Golden Dragon. Blessing of Tyr, passive. Critical heals with heal or flash heal have a chance to imbue you with the essence of Tyr, increasing all healing you do by 20% for 12 seconds. That's great. I mean, that is absolutely awesome. But again, it's RNGesus stuff, man, and it's based off crit. Stats wise, I never ended up mentioning stats either, guys, but this looks like another crit mastery heavy setup, unless you're going for a renew spam, which then you might want a little bit more haste than anything else. But I've noticed that crit mastery seem to work best for me. Holy Mending, passive. When Prayer Mending jumps to a target affected by your renew, that target is instantly healed for 18,180. Now, if you look back at the talents and Benediction where it leaves renew on that target, you're going to see some really interesting play with that ability coming up real quick. Guardians of the Light. Guardian Spirit summons an additional spirit to watch over you. So I'm not 100% sure on what this does, but I think whenever you cast Guardian Spirit, which is your ability that keeps you the target from dying, increases the healing. I think this is just going to put a mimic on you. So you cast it on them, it casts it on you. This is going to be an amazing deal. Hallowed Ground, rank 0 of 3. Excuse me, guys. Sorry about that. Passive, reduces a cooldown of Holy Word Sanctify by 3 seconds. So basically, Sanctify, you're going to be able to use it 3, 6, or 9 seconds sooner than you normally would. And then you've got Words of Healing, rank 0 of 3. Increases healing done by Holy Word spells by 3%, 3, 6, or 9. That is awesome. We're going to read these next two, and then we'll go to the last one, because the last one is amazing. Reverence, rank 0 of 3. Increases healing done by Flash Heal and Heal by 5%. Awesome. 5, 10, 15%. That's going to work great. And then Holy Hands, increase healing done by Renew by 5%. So 5, 10, or 15 on that. And then you've got your last Golden Dragon, Renew the Faith. So remember Benediction, guys. So where it leaves Renew afterwards. Alright, if you can get... let's read it. While Divine Hymn is active, Prayer Mending jumps to a new target every 0.9 seconds without consuming any charges. Wow. So this is going to be some insane healing, especially if you know how to work your Prayer Mending and you've got anywhere between 3 and 4 up at one point in time. I know I've had it happen in a raid situation when I did some raid testing on this thing before the wipe. This is absolutely insane. And basically, if you've got those up, you cast Divine Hymn with Benediction. Not only is Renew now going on just about everybody, but you've got all those prayers of mending bouncing back and forth. The only problem is, if they go to hit the same target, because it is a smart heal, they will merge. So it's something to think about. But man, it is huge healing, and this thing makes me excited because this Divine Hymn is absolutely OP as shit when you get this ability and you have Prayer Mending up and you play it right. So that's going to be it, guys, for the artifact, and we'll go ahead and talk about some of the gameplay right now. Alright, guys, so we're going to talk a little bit about how this thing's playing out, and you've got a lot of different aspects to choose from this. You no longer have to stance using chakras, but you do still have to make decisions based on whether you need to AoE or single target heal. That being said, with the way Serendipity works, if you're needing a large single target heal, Holy Word Serenity is going to be ungodly. This thing is like a mini lay on hands that you can do every 1 minute, actually less than every 1 minute, as long as you continue casting heal or flash heal. These are going to reduce the cooldown, depending on how you talent, of Serenity. And your single target healing is by far a lot higher than it has been in a very long time due to this. It plays out very nice, and it's enjoyable. AoE, you no longer are able to put Sanctuary on the ground anymore. It's no longer Sanctuary, guys. What it's going to be is Sanctify. And Sanctify is going to be a burstier heal. They didn't want us to have something on the ground, mainly because that is covered by Shamans and Druids, and I'm sure they wanted something a little bit different. So they gave us Sanctify, which it's nice. It plays out well. And if the group takes a big burst of damage, this will heal up to 6 allies within 10 yards for a very good amount with a chance to crit. And you can still, it is on a 1 minute cooldown, but you can reduce it using Prayer Healing, or if you spec it, Prayer Mending, which helps out a lot. So, general basis, guys, if you're working efficiently, obviously healing with heal is going to be your more efficient, but you don't want anyone to die because it is slow. You may have to switch over and actually use Flash Heal in a 5-man situation. I do have Circle of Healing on my bars, so you will see me use it quite frequently for AoE heals, for a couple different reasons. One, it's Circle of Healing, and it's going to heal everybody, and it's going to do really good. Two, it applies Mastery to everybody, so they will constantly tick up. The other thing you'll see me doing a lot is spamming Renew. If somebody's not at a dangerous threshold of health, you're basically going to want to keep Renew on anybody that's got damage on them, and either let Renew take care of the job, or you're going to want to actually cast a heal to promote them higher. Now, mind you, I'm talking non-tank. You know, if it's a DPS that's out there and they're getting smashed, obviously you're going to want to give them a little extra healing than what Renew's going to do. Two ways you can go about that. You can end up hitting them with a regular heal. If they aren't going to make it, you can hit them with a flash heal. Or if you think they're just going to take another tick of damage, you can always throw Prayer Mending if it's off cooldown and get that out. But it's really the dynamic of the healing, guys, is going to depend on what spells you're going to want to use. Obviously, fast, quick damage, you're going to want to end up using Flash Heal. Slow, just okay, let's go ahead and top them up. Use regular heal. Renew, same thing. If you've got plenty of time and you just want them to gradually get back up there and not worried about them dying, use Renew. Prayer Mending. In ticking damage situations, guys, this thing takes off like a bat out of hell, and you'll see this softball of holy power just keep everyone going. It is one item that I will recommend you keep on cooldown on the tank all the time, as long as there's somebody within range of the tank. If there's no one within 20 yards of the tank, you're going to want to make sure you don't do that, because it will go out there, it'll get hit once, and then it will disappear. So just remember, range is a factor. So going from there, guys, what are we looking at? You got a couple oh shit abilities, and what do I mean by oh shit abilities? Well, these are your cooldowns. Basic cooldowns, alright? Defensive wise, you don't have any anymore, unless you spec into them. Unfortunately, you do not have a defensive anymore unless spec'd. Divine Hymn, on the other hand, it's going to be your AoE heal. You've got plenty of healing cooldowns. Your basic ones are going to be your holy words, guys. Let's go with the holy words first. Serenity is going to perform an outstanding miracle heal that's going to heal for basically half of what my current health is right now. Is that going to be the way it is whenever I get up to level 110 with this thing? I am not sure. I will definitely end up updating as soon as I can. And then you've got Holy Word Sanctify, which is going to do another miraculous amount of AoE healing to everyone within 10 yards. You've got the targeting reticle. If someone's inside of it, you're going to get it. And then it's going to heal 6 allies for a very high amount. 1 minute cooldown for both of these guys. And what are these these cooldowns can be reduced through Serendipity by using, if you use an AoE heal, which is going to be Prayer of Healing for Sanctify, that is going to reduce its cooldown. If you use Heal or Flash Heal, that is going to reduce Serenities. So just think of that way. Now, what other heals do you have? Well, you have a tank cooldown, which is Guardian Spirit, and this thing works really nice. It's going to increase their healing received by 60%, and also prevents them from dying as long as they don't take a crushing blow. If they don't get pummeled by fucking up a mechanic too bad, this will bring it back. But they did put a limiter on it, so it can't be something out frickin' standish, man. Like if a tank swap fails or something like that, this will not work to end up saving them if they get crit for, or not crit, but hit for a very high damage. It no longer will do that. But if they do happen to die to a lower ticking damage or something like that, it's going to basically cancel out the Guardian Spirit and resurrect the person, or it's keeping them from dying, and heal them for 40% of their maximum health. This is an amazing ability for saving your tanks. This is going to be just like any other healer that's got some sort of tank healer cooldown. Unfortunately, shamans are not one of these, but every other class does. You've got Ironbark on restoration, druids, you've got lots of different stuff, guys. You got sacrifice on pallies, you've got that. There's so much to work with that you can really end up, you'll know the different abilities, but this is going to be your tank cooldown on a 4-minute cooldown. One of the longer cooldowns also. And then you've got Divine Hymn. Divine Hymn is your AoE. It does good by itself currently, guys, especially in 5-mans, the way that it's got the improved 100% if you are not in a raid group. If you are in a raid group, you're seeing the healing 72,000 blah 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 over 7.1 seconds. It does get lowered in an actual raid, but if it didn't, it would be overpowered, especially with what we just looked at on the artifact. And it would definitely be overtuned, and then Holy would be ungodly, and you know, Holy can't be ungodly for too terribly long. We'll be lucky if they make it through this expansion. But guys, this is going to be just a general look at what the abilities do. A lot of the gameplay itself, you're going to have to be, because of the way the healing is changed, it's a little more dynamic than what you normally do. There's no base rotation. You're going to have to learn to judge the fights and the abilities on your own to see exactly where you can go with it. And we are going to take a look at exactly where that healing will be coming from. Alright guys, so here we are, and you're looking, this is going to be more of a single target fight, and basically this is going to be on the tank more or less with your healing, but I did have, as you can see, if you look, I did have some pretty spontaneous healing that I had to end up doing because somebody caught a spear. This is Warlord Parjesh, though, if I didn't mention that already, and what he is, basically, he is going to be almost all single target, and you can see the Serenity cast, huge healing off of that, guys. But for a low damage single target fight, this is what you're looking at. Generally, I did have flash healing. Like I said, I had to save the other Shadow Priest because he took a spear to the face. It wasn't his fault. I think the ads got cleaved down way too quick. So really, guys, it's not too bad. You're looking at a little bit of renew. Prayer mending's not as high as it normally would. Echo of light, love seeing that up a little higher, and then circle healing for the little bit of there. Now we are going to swap this over though, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you King Deepbeard. Yeah, we'll go Serpentix instead. Okay, Serpentix is a little more spread out, guys. So you've got renew, which is basically, you can see where the ticking's at, and Renew was my main heal off there, and then Echo of Light right behind it, because there is a lot of ticking damage on this fight. If you've seen this fight before, you have a bunch of fireheads that end up coming up, and they just do non-stop ticking damage. So you can see exactly where this is at with the ticking damage and with Renew. Renew is obviously on top, doing a ton of healing, Echo of Light right below it, and then Divine Hymn, and then Prayer Mending. And the reason why Prayer Mending was so much lower wasn't because of... It wasn't so much because of the damage itself, guys. It's because of the spreading. If we were closer together, Prayer Mending would more than likely be up towards the top. But again, we were not close to each other, or close enough for this thing to actually take off. And then we'll go ahead and take a look at... Let's see, Wrath of Ashara. King Deepbeard was a lot, just because it was a lot of single target healing, and it showed flash heal up again. And again, this was another spread out one, guys, to where there was a lot of ticking damage. Again, Renew is taking over in that situation, just to end up keeping stuff up. And then I'll go ahead and show King Deepbeard. King Deepbeard, and again, like I said, you've got Echo of Light that did a lot of the healing, Circle of Healing, because people were a little bit closer, but it wasn't enough ticking damage. It was all straight burst, so Prayer Mending did not make it up as high. And then you've got Flash Heal here. Well, Flash Heal took over because, hey, there was a ton of damage going out. I want to say, if you end up looking, yeah, 66,000, and my item level was not, it's not that high, guys. I want to say, let me take a look real quick. And item level currently 725. I did this a while back, so... again, you're looking at a pretty decent setup, and I was able to get away with doing all that extra flash healing because of the tier 15 talent, because of the mana regeneration. So, guys, I hope this gives you a good idea on what you're looking forward to whenever you get into the Holy Priest. If you did enjoy this thing, you know what to do. Throw it a like, throw it a subscribe, and as always, thanks for watching.